Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion. I haven't been on this live in a while, but we're gonna see what's gonna be like. Just waiting to see if you guys got the notification. So I gotta wait to see if any of you guys tapping in with your boy Boost in Motion. Just give you a second. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Haven't had a viewers on this in a while, so it's been a minute. Hopefully, you guys, please, guys, if you are listening, I have about 2, 3 guys jumping in. It's been such a long time. Definitely comment below. Leave a comment in the live chat section if you can. I just want to see if you guys are here and are living with me. It's been such a long time, and I really do miss you guys. It's been very long time. All right, so shout out to everybody in the chat. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Tap in right in the comments live. I'm gonna be answering some questions. It's been forever. Now I should do some house cleaning if you are watching. If you are subscribing to this channel, guys, please hit that like button right now. Come on, get them likes up. Get them likes up. I would really appreciate it, and I would love it if you guys hit the like button because it's something that you guys get through for free. It costs you guys nothing, and I try to give you guys some free game and help you guys along your automotive journey. And you guys know I'm super honest about that. Bear with me. Hey, what's going on, Ant? Shout out to Ant. What's going on? What's going on? How you been? I hope you've been doing well, and I really appreciate your time, Ant. As you guys are signing in right now, please also comment. Leave us someone in the chat, shout where you're coming from, your state or your hometown. Just want to see where some of my viewers are, and I would really appreciate that. All right, shout out to you, Ant. Really appreciate y'all. So if you guys want me to answer some questions, I'm gonna be on this live for about an hour. About an hour. Right now it's Eastern time of 9:12. So probably about 10:10. Because I got work in the morning, just like you guys. Shout out to David. David, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you, David. What OTS flash tunes come with pops and bangs? David, unfortunately, I am not, repeat, I am not very familiar with OTS tunes, but anyone who's watching, OTS is a tuning software used primarily in the BMW community. They really just make flash tunes. They really don't tune, like they tune your cars, but it's like a generic flash tune for pretty much all BMWs, where you just pretty much upload it and that's it. You don't have a custom tune such as like a full-fledged tune, a street tune, or a dyno tune. This is something conservatively made pretty much for broad spectrum of BMW. So just so that you can drive your BMW in Florida, Miami heat, or drive up in the higher elevations where it might be super cold. We have less oxygen, just to make sure the car pretty much runs right all the way around. But sorry, David, I really don't have to answer those questions. And as I've told you guys before, I don't know the answers to everything. I really wish I can. What I would say is, I would like to point you, David, the right direction. But if I point you to a tuner, they're gonna tell you just get an actual tune. So I'm gonna say what the tuners will say: get an actual tune. You're gonna get the optimized performance for your conditions and depending on what part of the world you live in, especially on the fuel and your modifications. I recommend hit up a Go Racebox if it is a BMW platform. He definitely tunes BMW B58s now too. All right, shout. What's going on, Isaiah? Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for showing some love. Tapping in with your boy Boost tonight. And for anyone who's popping into this live, it's been such a long time. I haven't seen you guys, and I do miss y'all. But if you are a subscriber to this channel, guys, please hit the like button. This is something you guys can do for free. Thank you, and I really appreciate you guys. Okay. What's going on? Or Psycho, or shout out to South Carolina in the chat. Really appreciate you. Isaiah says, "Hey, you still getting the G as replacement for the Q?" Yes. So if you guys are watching right now, Wednesday, I should be taking the Q to CarMax, and we're gonna see what price they're willing to give me for the car in fully stock condition. It is fully stock, and honestly, for you guys that are watching, I made up a video about a month ago. I think CarMax offered me about 30. I think it was about 30,000 um, as a cash or check offer or cash offer online. So I'm going to go into the CarMax and see if they match that actual offer. But yeah, guys, so I've also seen in another video when I was posting the car up that it does have some dings on the car. So I think that actually may affect the price they give me. But honestly, I'm gonna just say it to you guys that are watching right now. You ready? I'm gonna take 25. If it's anything above 25K, I'm taking it because I'm already positive equity. So honestly, I'm not gonna go with Vroom or these other brands. I'm really not trying to because they ship your car to them and then they say this is the price we give you. So they can lowball you. And if you say no, you have to repay for the shipping to receive your car back. I don't like that. I like CarMax, the fact that you can drive there and they give you a check right then and there and they take control of everything. That's what I'm looking for. But yes, Isaiah, I'm definitely looking for a G. But I need to get rid of the Q60 first. What's going on? Okay. Ology says, just got a 2017 Q60 Sport. What map do you recommend when I get my JB4? Mainly if you're on 93 fuel, which is commonly used across different states in America. You can usually always start with map one, so you can get adjusted with the car, see how it's running, if it's running right. And after that, you can go up to about the newer maps, anything +7. I think that's map 5 now. Usually the JB4 Burger Tuner has changed up these higher maps so that there will be you would be running it with like a little bit of E85 in the tank. But what I realized when I had on my Q50 and Q60, I could run to like +7, +8 on 93. Some people you may run it, the timing will be fine, but you can't do repeated pulls on +6, +7 psi because your stock heat exchanger is just too small. That's why I tell most people the first modification to get this platform is a heat exchanger system. No matter if you live in a cold climate or a hot climate, it's definitely needed because through the repeated amount of pulls, you will feel the performance going down and down every pull because it's getting hot. Okay, Damien V, what's going on? What's going on? What heat exchanger would you do on your 2018 Lux? And do you need to change any stock hoses? And do you recommend cold air intakes? Love your videos. Appreciate that, V. So this is what I'm gonna tell you guys straight up. You ready? The heat exchanger depends on what your price point is. That's why this platform is fun because it's not like you have just one thing you have to go for. It depends on your price point. I have plenty of videos talking about it. Just put in boost motion heat exchangers, but to quickly put it out there, if you want one of the biggest heat exchangers on the platform right now, that is from AMS. It's about $1,000. It's a huge race heat exchanger. It has a lot of capacity of coolant, and you don't with that one you will have to replace specific brackets and brackets and hoses and everything because they do change and move some components in front of the car. Now, if you want a direct replacement where you don't have to change any hoses, you just bolt right in. Well, the biggest one in the market is currently AAM competition. It is slightly bigger than the regular AMS heat exchanger, Mishimoto and PLM. Also, remember, AAM is a sponsor of this channel. So you guys are like, well, he's only saying because he sponsored it. But it actually is the biggest one for the platform. Also, there is a promo code Team Boost in Motion. Repeat, Team Boost in Motion. Check the video on it. It's like capital letter team, capital letter N, capital letter B, and capital letter M motion. Sorry, just hit me a DM at Boost Motion IG so I can give you guys that promo code. But you should get about 5 to 10% off your purchase. So this is a kickback to you guys. Um, but then lastly, if you don't want to go with that one, you can go with the Mishimoto, any one of those other 3 or 4, because they're very similar size and the price points are right around that $500. Lastly, if you want to go with something a little bit more affordable and give you that front mount look, you can go with Frozen Boost. Repeat, Frozen Boost heat exchangers. These are most of the universal ones. They're not completely bolt-in. There's going to be a little bit more of a DIY thing, but a lot of people like their Frozen Boost because it gives you that front mount look. Just put in Frozen Boost Q50 Q60 on any Google Images or Google, and they'll come up, and there'll be plenty of threads on those. Shout out to you, V. I appreciate you so much. Shout out to Jersey too. Shout out to Jersey in the chat. What's going on, Jersey in the chat? Much love. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Also, he said, also V had asked me do I recommend intakes. Only intakes I'm going to recommend for this platform still at the current moment that I would use on my car will be AMS AAM Competition, and Z1 Motorsports. I just like the enclosed intake systems. They're relatively easy to install by hand, and you don't really have to like take off bumpers or anything like that. There are a couple of other intakes on the platform. Shout out to Turbo P and shout out to HHP Perform. I forgot the name of the company. Bonnie and Clyde, and there's another company that make these front mount intakes, but they a little bit more work and they're around the same price. But I'm not going to throw those out the ones as I recommend. I still haven't tried those on the car, but they look really good, high quality. It's just that I like to keep things more OEM looking because some of you guys still have this as a lease car and they care about warranty and stuff like that. Let me see. Wait. I think I already answered that question. Oh, do you need to upgrade the coolant tank? Forgot to add. You don't have to upgrade the coolant tank on this platform. You don't have to do like the reservoir tank. You don't need to add the fender tank on this platform. You really do not need to. That's for people who are max effort. They're gonna be taking this car to the track often, like every weekend. They're doing races in the streets. They need to get that stuff. But if you're just a regular day spirited driver, just get the heat exchanger. Shout out to Con in the chat. What's going on? Shout out to Ontario Candle in the chat. Just want to say, Boost, I appreciate all your videos you make. I watch so many videos to make the right choice. And 6 days ago, I just bought a 2014 Q50S 3.7. Shout out to the VQ gang in the chat. What's going on? VQ gang in the chat. Much love, Con. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being a subscriber to the channel. And absolutely love the car. And I'm going to try and keep it forever. Listen, just change your transmission fluid. Con, if you're still watching, just change your transmission fluid because on these cars, people don't change the transmission fluid. Like they just don't. You can change the transmission fluid. You would have to drain it and pump the coolant right back in. You'll measure how much comes out and you pump it, go back, like you pump the transmission fluid right back in, and only use the one that Infiniti slash Nissan sells. Don't use any other one, okay? All right, appreciate you. Shout out to all 63 smokers in the chat. What's going on? What's going on? That's my fellow Mercedes gang in the chat. If you guys don't know, he does have a YouTube channel, all 63 smoke, and he is building I think he put down almost 900 wheel, bro. You put like nine. Oh no! Oh no! I lost video. That's terrible. How did I lose video? Bear with me, guys. You might still hear me. Oh man, that's crazy. Oh man. How I lost video? You guys still hear me? Hold on. Hold on. Coming back. Ah, man. That's crazy. Oh, oh man. This is not the best time to lose video. Video start. Oh man. I don't know which one goes to which. All right. Bear me, guys. This thing unplugged. We back yet? Oh man. Damn. Oh, there we go. Bring the video back. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, dudes. Oh, you guys hear me? I'm back. You guys hear me? Somebody tap in the chat right now. I was over here fighting. Bear with me, guys. Hello. Type in the chat if I'm back. If you back, if you guys comment below. Oh man, I can't have it like that. I'm over here fighting. I didn't charge it at all. Bear with me, guys. Okay, you're hearing now. Thank you, Con. Thank you. I know I lost a couple of you guys. I had my camera hooked up to one of these external packs and I forgot to charge it. So I had to switch over. It's my fault. I should have had the camera hardwired right to the wall, literally USB to the wall. So that's my fault. All right, cool. We made it back. Shout out to everybody in chat. Let's just quickly do a recap. First thing, shout out to everybody in chat. Much love. I appreciate you. We just had some technical difficulties for like 3-4 minutes. But this is the studio. We are finally cooking with grease. So we're back. Now, get back to all 63 smoke. If you guys don't already know, he has a YouTube channel. He has a 63, but he also has a Q50. So, and the funny thing is, I guess I helped sell him on the Q50, even though he has like what did he say? 847 wheel horsepower C63. So even the German guys, including myself, we still love these Infinity Q50. So much love. And he says, what are some of the first 5 upgrades that I should do on my Q50? So quickly, I'm gonna shoot it off. Number 1, heat exchanger. You need a heat exchanger because these cars don't have a proper amount of cooling for the pretty much the turbo the boost off the turbo. It's pretty much your charge air temps, how hot the air is being pushed into your motor. So you need a larger heat exchanger. Number 2, a CATBACK exhaust for you to get the less amount of back pressure that would come. When it comes to CATBACK exhaust, you can choose your own. Just pick the sound that you like and just shoot for it. Also, just to throw this out there, if it's 2014 and up, they're all the same CATBACKs. They all fit. It don't matter if it says for VR 3.7 or even 3.5. The 2.0 Ts, I believe, are a little different. So I said 3. CATBACK exhaust, heat exchanger, some kind of downpipes. You can get, for instance, you can do a lower downpipe, you can do a full catless downpipe, or you can do a full catted downpipe. I'm gonna repeat it again. You can do a lower downpipe, full catless downpipe, or full catted downpipe. I still always recommend first and the last, either lower downpipe or full catted. That's just my preference. I stay away from the catless. The 4th modification that I will honestly say will actually be a tune. You should actually tune the car. Tune the car itself. And I would say the 5th it's optional. You don't have to do it. Is an intake system. A lot of tuners for this platform stated already that intakes do help, but that's usually on a more max effort side. This is something that you can technically skip. So those are the top 5 modifications: heat exchanger, intakes, downpipes, CATBACK exhaust, and a tune. 5 modifications. Shout out to AG in the chat. What's going on, brother? You gonna get the Z? It's gonna be lit. I would love to get the Z. I'm telling you guys right now, I would love to get that Z, man. I would love to. But with the supply chain shortage, with all this nonsense going on in the world, I just don't see it happening. If it does happen, it's because it was on a deal a lot. Someone said, yo, Boost, they got on a deal a lot. And it's just, I just pulled in and I'm like, I want that car. And they're like, well, you're gonna have to pay over sticker. And I'm like, well, how much? So I would love to get it. Love to get that car, but I know if I got one, it's probably not gonna be one I want. I want black or black and red interior, and I want it to be red on the outside. Maybe a white one, because I really haven't seen a white one like that. So, like, probably a white one, and it's probably gonna be a base, which sucks. I don't want a base. I want, want at least a sporty one. I don't really care for all the tech. Just give me the motor and give me all the sport trimming and stuff, and call it a day. And also 9-speed auto. Shout out to by God in the chat. What's going on, Boost? My Q50 temperature was rising and dropping, and my coolant tank was empty. I filled it up, and the next day was empty again. But the temperature stayed normal since then. What do you think happened? By God 95, this is something that's commonly happening more and more in the last 2 years in this platform. By God 95, you got to find out. I'm gonna be very clear in this video because the whole coolant argument happened the other day on the big forum. But I'm gonna tell you guys straight up for the people who are watching, because I get this question a lot more often than I should. Unless you've had turbo or motor replaced or something done to this car engine wise where it might be removed and they drain the coolant system, you should not be losing coolant. First thing, look around and see if the car might be dripping coolant from anywhere. I'm talking about like actually dripping on the floor. Start your car up and let it run. See if you have a large amount of white smoke coming out, or whenever you're getting on it, a big, huge clouds of white smoke comes out. I'm talking about consistently, because you will have some moisture in the exhaust, but if you consistently going on it and you just see big plumes of white smoke coming out the exhaust, stock or modified, that's an issue. Also, smell that exhaust. I'm not telling you guys to go put your nose to it and pass out and die. I'm just saying, see if you can smell some of that exhaust. Does it smell like coolant smell? Does it smell sweet? And if it does, you do have porous block. This is honestly, a lot of techs still haven't broken apart the motor to take a look, but most likely it's a defect from factory, or just over time the head gasket might have lifted a little bit. And some of that coolant is now going into the combustion chamber and coming out the exhaust, which means it's eating up your coolant. Yes. So in that case, you have to go for a full motor replacement, either used or pre-owned. Or new or new. No one's gonna buy a new one. It's expensive. What I also noticed in this platform is that no one tried to rebuild these yet. Like actually rebuild the motor and see what the issue is. So I'm waiting to see somebody actually find out what issue it is and just do a rebuild rather than buy a whole new motor. But if you're doing a rebuild, most likely you're gonna put rods and pistons at the same time and do a proper motor build. So monitor it and see if it goes low again. If it keeps going low again and you keep putting in more coolant, and you know it's not an air pocket or anything like that, you didn't have no work done, you gotta change the motor. By God. Nick Hall says, "What's going on? What up, Boost? I enjoy your channel. I own a 2004 G35 and a 2017 Q50. You know, that's one of the Infinities I really missed. Like, I didn't get into the I had a DE, a 2002 Nissan Maxima, so I did have a VQ35 DE, but I just never got into that generation of G35. Like, I like the coupes, but I just never like wanted to get one. Like, I just skipped it completely, and I don't think I'm ever gonna really get one. If I did, it will probably be I would probably get a coupe, and I'll get like a red one with like, and it's probably going to be like a rev up, or a rev up edition. I think that's like 2005, 2006 if I did get one. Okay, yup. Let me see. I watch. Okay, cool. Okay, Driven Lifestyle. I'm watching the channel. I don't own a Q. I have a 340i. Driven Lifestyle. I appreciate that. Driven. I don't know if you're still watching. I appreciate that. Thank you that you still bang with the Infinity Gang, even though you got 340. So you got to know what your competition is, where they power at, where their modifications at. So I understand that. Like, even with me, when I watch other YouTubers, I don't have their cars, but I want to know what my competition has, And sometimes it's good to just hear some people's commentary about these vehicles, which is super dope. But I appreciate you, Driven Lifestyle. We looking to hit 1,000 wheel horsepower at GatFest in Dallas. Thank you. Oh my God. Oh, yo. So he's talking about his C63. I think he has like Wise Tech turbos. He recently had an issue with his motor, so he got it rebuilt. But it's probably gonna be on fully PTG turbos or something like that. And I think you upgrade the transmission, right? All the smoke. Let me know. Damn smoke, that's crazy. Time to pay the bills, boost. Yeah, because it didn't shut all off all the way. Gap Fest. B says, how do you feel about most tuners doing the oil change every 10,000 miles? Laugh while asking for the wife. I usually do mine every 4 to 5K. At V, do your oil changes every 2 to 3,000 miles. I don't give a flying F what Infinity says. The reason being that you want to do it is these manufacturers one I've had a service tech and someone else come onto this platform and talk about it. These service intervals are so that you guys can come back and if something goes bad, it can fix the car. Literally. Yes. So if you follow this and somehow, some way, it somehow goes past the warranty and you're still doing this, they know that when that car breaks, you're gonna go back to the dealership and they're gonna make more money. Change your oil every 2 to 3,000 miles, depending on use. You do 4 or 5, it's really up to you. But I would recommend if you're beating on this car, you got to treat it like a race car. Like I hate to say it's not a race motor, but you got to change the oil often. So every 2 to 3,000 miles, I usually keep it around 3. Also, watch your oil level. If you know you're gonna be really beating on the car often, you live in a really hot climate, check it. At least once a month if you can. It only takes about 15, 20 seconds just to make sure. Because you would hate to be driving this car on low oil. Also, for the people that's watching, if you are doing your oil changes on your VR, understand it's 6 quarts now. It may say like 5.5 or 5 3/4 some places, but a lot of us have been driving around on half a quart to 3 quarts empty, more to empty side because the dipstick was off, measurement was off. So this car actually requires, I believe, 6 to 6.25 quarts of oil. Yes. So now you know. Or change everything. Okay, cool. Especially abuse the car. I'm gonna hear no. Okay. 1 second. Buffering. Hey. All right, cool. I got another question for you. Fernandez, what's going on? I appreciate you. Thank you for being a subscriber to the channel. Thank you. What up, Boost? Need directions on what to get 370 or Cube, and what's faster? Looking to do headers with dual exhaust and long tube intakes. Thanks, Boost. Kind of new to this. Well, Orlando, I'm assuming that you're talking about a Q60, such as a 2014, 2015 Q60, or a 370Z. So if you're talking about the VQ life, let me see if you might have commented a little bit down the line. Fernandez, you said plus tuning. I'm assuming this 3.7 Fernandez, right? Wow, I have a lot of questions. I gotta go faster. If it's a first thing, the 370Z is gonna be more of the race carish, hot boy racer type of car. It's just that's just how it looks and how it's set up. You don't have a back seat, so if you are okay with just having that cabin as you and your passenger, then the 370Z will just be more oriented that way. The Q60 is just more of a luxury car. You got a little bit more back space, you have more of a trunk space, and it's more on the luxurious side. I think both cars age really well. They have the same reliability. And the 370Z is a little bit lighter, so it should be a little bit quicker. But if you're doing headers and dual exhaust long tube intakes, that's fine. There's of course you have to get road drive model so that all the intakes with all the long tube head all the long tube headers fit. There's only like 2 companies that make long tube headers for the VQ platform. I think it's PPE and something else. Only like 2 companies. But honestly, you can skip the headers. I think the amount of money that you guys spend on headers is ridiculous and for a gain in performance. I would rather you go E85 if you are close to E85 with like test pipes and whatever catback exhaust if you're choosing, and then on and whatever intakes you choose, and then just tune on E85/93. Honestly. But that's the best way I would actually lead you. If you want more of a sportier car, you got to get the 370Z. But if you just really want to keep it more chill and everything like that, you get the Q60. All right, let me see. Yes, sir, you're back. Okay, cool. Captain says I'm 20 with a 19 Q50, but will love 800 wheel horsepower on my first car. Bro, you're 20, man. You gotta take your time, Captain. The vibe, Captain. You gotta chill, man. You gotta chill. Like when my first car was a piece of shit, 1987 Mazda MPV, and I drove the out of that car. It was already eating up coolant and oil. So when I put gasoline in the car, I also had to put oil and coolant. But once I got my first official 1996 Nissan Maxima, I wanted crazy amount of power. People were supercharging the cars. Like 300, 350 wheel horsepower was insane to me at that time. But I'm happy that I took my time to learn how to really drive over time. That when I finally got to 500, close to 600 wheel horsepower cars, I just have a little bit more experience. But 800 wheel, there's a little bit of money involved in that, brother. A lot of money involved. Hey Boost, can you get a newer Q50 in a red sport trim without the steer-by-wire system? Jad, I'm not too positive. From what I know, I think at somewhere around 2017, 2018, they got rid of that option of having steer-by-wire. I know in like 2016, 2017, some people don't have steer-by-wire on their Q50. It was like they made it optional. But I think it's super hard to find that. Or I could be wrong, or I might be confusing that with the 2014, 2015 3.7s. So you know what? Let me take that back. I might be wrong. I think 2014, 2015, you had an optional drive-by-wire, and 2016 and up, it was standard. But someone in the chat will probably correct me to make sure. So definitely check within those definitely check within that. Let me just check and see. No one getting those super chats? Damn, I ain't getting not one super chat. It's all right. I appreciate y'all. Just wanted to make sure. But if you guys Cash App, money sign boost in motion, money sign boost in motion. If you want to donate to my Cash App. But anyways, let's keep this going. Let's keep this rocking. All right, cool. I'm confused. What? Okay. How am I? Oh wait. I don't know what you're talking about. What died? They replaced it free though, but I unplugged the JB and all that stuff. I'm confused. XP. I hope you corrected yourself later down the line. Danielle, I appreciate that. What's going on? What's going on? I have a Q50, but don't want to avoid my warranty right now. I only have a JB4. Okay. Newer cars are nuts right now. How do you like it? Okay, cool. I want to throw some of your comments, but I'm trying to keep it towards your questions because you guys are like having fun talking in the chat. I love the fact that you guys are talking. Okay, cool. I want to actually point the video towards this. I got told my Q60 has low compression, and Infinity said my engine was fine. What? How do you have low compression but your engine's fine? That means that all the air is blowing right by the piston rings. Like, what are you talking about? That's insane. I can't even believe that. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm just going through the chat. What's going on, SR20? What's going on? I ain't see you in a minute. Much love, much love. No, I didn't have a 6-speed. I was a 4-speed gang. Eat my cheeseburgers at the time. What's going on? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, Daniel, any news about New York City and the exhaust camera? I'm still seeing a lot of muffler delete and custom exhaust out there, boosting motion. As of right now, talking to a friend of mine that is a police officer, they're really not cracking down on it. Like, it's not something that they're cracking down on. Like, you got loud exhaust. Now, if you do have explosion tunes and pops and crackles and you're by the cops, yeah, they can still pull you over and give you a ticket for it. But it's not. It won't be the type of ticket that goes with the $1,000 summons. Right now, that was majority just a pilot program. But as of right now, they're not really enforcing that stuff right now at this current moment, from what I know. At least from what I know. They could still write you a ticket, like a summons, fix a ticket, but it won't be that $850 thing, at least for now. But it's still part of the statute. Okay. I love all cars that don't handy. Okay, cool. Okay, yep. Okay, so just clarify PTG. He has PTG turbos on his C63. All right, cool. David, hey Boost, love your content. Your video with Mark convinced me to get a Q60 RS tuned. I'm stock. Other than that, what you recommend next? Well, I don't think you should. If you guys want to keep your car mainly stock, right? You want to get it tuned, you need to at least get a heat exchanger. At least you need a heat exchanger. If you're gonna keep everything else stock on the car, at least do the upgraded heat exchanger, and that's it. You're not gonna get the max amount of performance because the piping for the turbos are super little, so he's not gonna push a lot of boost. The car will be quicker. It'll probably gain another maybe 40 to 50 wheel horsepower, which is relatively good for a daily driver and everything else quiet. If you're gonna another modification I would add that would pretty dope. Nah, I would just keep with the heat exchanger if you don't want to do too much. Um, Shout out to you, David. I appreciate that. I'm thinking about getting a Q ASAP. What do you think of as the best overall 3.0 to 3.7? I think I dropped a video talking about this recently. Nick, check on my channel. I have a couple of videos on this already, so I don't want to go. I went really deep and extensive on those videos. So, but honestly, it's up to you. If you want more reliability where you don't have to do too much, you get a 3.7. If you really care more about power and performance and still have the Q look, 3.0 T. But you're gonna sacrifice some reliability because you're dealing with direct injection, you're dealing with turbos. So it is what it is. I need a good tuner for my SR. I'm in Texas, but I don't have the information for that dual overhead. I'm sorry. Hey Boost, other than Go Racebox, any other tune you recommend? Well, shout out to Go Racebox. That's who's saying that is my tuner, my official tuner for the Q50 Q60 channel. But you also can go with AMS. Great company. They have the performance. I always say pay attention to the outcomes or the product that you get. They have the results. Some of the fastest Q50s come from Go Racebox and AMS. But then also you can go with local guys. You also have Z1 Motorsports if you live in Georgia area. You have RS Mark from RS. I never pronounce his name right. He's in Florida. Um, you have a different amount of tuners all across the place. I'm not gonna lie, like it's not hard to find a tuner depending where you live. Like you have Hussein, which is in Houston, Texas, but majority of tuners can tune your car remotely, so you don't have to go to a dyno. They can literally just tune your car from their laptop in a dining room or living room, or if they're at church. I don't know why they'd be tuning you if they're at church, but they can actually do that too. I'm in Texas right now. I'm at 1,800 miles. 1 second, guys. I just want to put up the questions. Bear with me. But I hope, once again, if anyone's watching, I really appreciate you guys for always banging with your boy Boost. If you are watching right now, please hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. It's something that you guys can do for free because I tried my best to help you guys along your motive journey. All right. All right. Cool. Here's another question. What else can I do to make power on my Q50 3.0 T and not void warranty? There's really not much. Once you do JB4, you can do intakes, AMS intakes. You can do AMS heat exchanger. You can do CATBACK exhaust. Most dealers are not going to make a big deal about the CATBACK exhaust unless like your turbos go and they don't want to warranty. You're like, your exhaust did it. No, man, I didn't touch the catalytic converters. So honestly, CATBACK exhaust, heat exchanger, AMS intakes, and a JB4. That's it. That's not really too much else more that you can do to make the car faster. At least when you think about warranty. Boost, I am shout to Thompson. Boost, I am up in Washington. Thanks for the content you have taught a lot, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you, Thompson. I appreciate you. All right. All the smoke. Thank you, Dual Overhead Cam. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you for the $2 donation. Much love and thank you, thank you. Also, for anybody else who wants to donate. I think he donated too. I appreciate you too. It says 99 cents. It's not coming up on the screen. It's super weird. But thank you all 63 Smoke. I appreciate you. If anyone's watching, I want to donate to the channel, you can donate to the super chat. Or I also have a Cash App money sign boost in motion. It's literally my name. And you'll see my little sign come up and you could donate there. I really would appreciate that. Anyways, but let's continue. Let's keep cooking with grease. Okay, cool. All the Smoke said, okay, I want to talk about the C63 a little bit because his C63 has a build that I would love. So just bear with me because we like our 3.0 Ts, but I like to still teach you guys about other platforms. So if you guys don't know about the C63, it's pretty much a M177 motor. It's closed deck V8 and it has a hot V2 turbos. You can change these turbos in 2 to 3 hours because they sit on top of the motor. You don't have to drop it at all. But anyways, he said he has upgraded Italian racing pistons, PGG turbos, 1,000 turbos. These turbos pretty much give you almost over 1,000 horsepower, and they're not OEM stock frame. They're larger turbos, so they deliver a lot of air. WiseTech intake manifolds, and downpipes and black boost air intake and black boost trans upgrade on E85. Yeah, that car is gonna freaking move, bro. Imagine if you had did all of that in the E63. Oof, because that all-wheel drive would be insane. Okay, shot. He says 20 years old. I had a 91 Celica GT, 180 horsepower. I actually like those Celicas from back then. They have good looks. I guess I'm just an older dude. Like some of those cars just really look good still to now these days if they kept them in good shape. I owned 5 300ZX. How, dude? Dual overhead. How can you own 5 of those cars? Like I worked on like those cars a little bit, helping out a friend of mine, and it sucked. And as a car person, it was still kind of hard for me to understand where things is. Like I get it, but I was like, dude, I don't want to touch this. I don't care. And everything broke. Every plastic piece or something stripped. I was like, yo, screw this car. Um, Driven Lifestyle says, "What are your plans for the AMG?" Honestly, right now, I'm gonna stop talking because I realize I say things and I do back it up and I do it, but this year is a little different. You know, I never know. A year ago, I did not know I was gonna have a Q60 and a C63, and then who know? A year later, I'm selling a Q60, and then I have a C63, and now I'm like G37, and then now I'm like I could do some heavy amount of work with the C63. I could do like pure turbos. I could get like an E30 map, or Tuno 93. But what I would say that's kind of weird about this platform, the C63 platform, is it costs a lot of money for tuning. I'm not really so mad at the parts so much. It's the tuning because it's more on the expensive side. Like at least with like this platform, you spend like you could spend 1,200, $1,500 for a tune, and it's a custom tune. Um, for this platform, you're looking 2K and up for tunes for custom tune, and especially if you want to do 85 and retune, you could spend easily, I would say, custom tune, trans tune, and if you have like a 2018 up CPC tune, just out the whole, you're spending 5 6K just in tuning, and that's just in tuning before you talk about parts and installation. So it could be super expensive to tune these cars and like modify them. And sometimes boosts be on a budget, so that's why it's so expensive. That's why I just have a JB4 boost control on the car and a secondary cat delete, and that's it. And VRP intakes. I'm just chilling with that because the car drops like a cool 520 wheel. I'm not trying to do any crazy amount of stuff. I'm not in the streets racing or anything like that. So it's a cool car. But I really don't have much plans for it now. I would love to do something dope, go large turbos and try to hit like 700 wheel, which is pretty easy on this platform with the right size turbos. Literally, literally turbos and E85, like turbos and E85, you're above 700, like 750, maybe close to 800, depending on the type of turbo you use. But I don't know. I don't really see the return in, like, cause remember I'm a YouTuber, so I gotta see if there's a return, like a cost efficient return in it. Like, will it deliver me more views? Like, is the car gonna bring enough views where it pays for itself or it brings in the traffic amount of people? I want to grow the channel. I want to grow the views, and I'm really not in the streets like that. And that New York City doesn't have enough car places and car things to do Mexico stuff over here. So that's what kind of sucks about being in New York City. But anyways, let me just stop talking you guys heads off about that. But honestly, I'm not gonna do too much with the C63. Racer says R35 here. What's going on? He got a R35 in the chat. What's going on? Shout to you, brother. I appreciate all that love and respect, man. What are some of the best looking black wheels for the Q50? Mines is on coilovers. Honestly, black wheels. I mean, I really can't give you brands on it. I mean, you can do OEMs if you really want. If you have like OEM 19-inch wheels and you powder coat them black, gloss black, just add some spacers on that girl and keep those tires nice, shining wet. And that's it. You're good to go. I've seen people black out the 19-inch sport wheels on the 2014s. The red sport wheels blacked out, and they just kept the sidewalls of the tires nice and clean. And with spacers, and you're good to go. But honestly, powder coat some GTR wheels, the 20-inch ones. Powder coat those black, and lower that car on coils. Sexy. That's it. Sexy. Car straight sex. Um, so it's just cameras, and if it's not, they're all after you. Okay. I'm confused. Okay, I see you talking about the what you call it. Can you run JB 1 second? Well, I'm kind of back on those questions. Oh, I'm way too far back. Oh, no, no, no. We gotta speed up. This is why I don't do these lives, because I messed up, and once I'm 4 minutes behind, that's it. Can I run JB4 map 2 on 91? Yes, you can run JB4 on map 2 on 91 fuel. That's perfectly fine, no matter if it's a red sport or if it's a regular 3.0 T. Okay, cool. Okay, because I was thinking of getting a charger, but I just trying to save money and buy out a G37 or Q50. All right, cool, Daniel. It's no problem. Okay. Hey, Boost. Was tuned soon. Was getting tuned soon, but I was wondering how you get 93 octane. Is it mix of 91 and 100 gas? Well, I'm confused, Rodriguez. I'm assuming that where you live, they don't have 93 fuel. Well, depending on what state you are, most of us have 93 fuel, but some people who live like in Canada and certain parts of the world, they don't have access to 93 fuel. And 100 octane gas is going to give you 100 octane gas. So there's no mixing to get that. Usually people who you should just get tuned on 91 then. That's it. Just get tuned on 91. If that's what you know that's consistently out there, tune on 91 and it'll be perfectly fine. You won't see as much performance, but it'll be relatively close. Nothing that much more off. Okay. Okay, thank you, Racer. I appreciate that. Sunoco. Okay, cool. That's what I was wondering. So sorry, my autocorrect was on. I have a Q60 T. Okay. The lower body died. Why do you think that happened? I'm just glad that they replaced it for free. I don't know. This is the first time I'm being aware that the throttle body died. If it got remember, there's always a manufacturer defect. They may always be that one person that have had that issue. You're the first person I know that may have had that issue. First person. Sometimes as I've never worked for Infinity as a service tech, but I've worked in the automotive community, and what I can tell you is mechanics, service technicians do not tell you guys the truth. They're gonna kind of tell you what happened, but sometimes something else. In my mind, the throttle body could have just died for whatever reason. Like the screw might have got loose, one of the flaps might have got stuck. The car might have almost died, like the battery might have got really low on voltage, and then it might have thrown off the software so they couldn't relearn the throttle body. Anything could have happened, dude. So just happy that they replaced it, but it's unfortunate that it happened to you, XP. um do you think the Q60 will die out after Nissan Z comes out? Well, right now, V, they're not making any more Q60s. They're cutting it. There's no more Q60s right now. Whatever's out there, that's it. So if you got a Q60, that's it. They ain't making no new ones. So I see the Q60s actually holding price now too. It's like I'm kind of selling my car maybe at the wrong time. If I might hold on to it, it may actually go up in value, but I don't think that much more. Like the car's MSRP was like, well, I didn't get it new, but its MSRP, I think it was like 53,000 or something like that. So, and if I get it going sold for 30, I'm be perfectly fine with that. All right. Yo, I enjoy your content. Yeah, man, you guys are having great amount of chat in the forum. I appreciate y'all so much. All right, okay, Claire. Claire has a question. What's going on, Claire? Hey, Boost, love your channel, brother. Just paid off my G37X. That's pretty dope. Congratulations. I always love when people don't have to deal with bills anymore. So now the car is actually yours. Is it worth doing Q50 trans swap and modding it after, possibly boost or NA build? Well, Claire, if you're gonna be doing a build, like if you know down the line that you want to supercharge this car, that you know that you want to or turbo this car. NA doesn't really matter. If you're building it NA, like you're just doing headers, test pipes, and catback exhaust, leave the transmission alone. Don't even worry about it until like the transmission goes out, then you worry about it. But if you know down the line this is something that you're really gonna do, start getting your treasure chest in order. Look up all the information on how to do a VR swap. For anyone's watching, the VR transmission swap is when you put the newer transmission from the 2014 and up Q50s in your 2014 2015 Q50 or your G37 or 370Z. uh, that transmission handles a lot more torque. Usually, the older 7 speed handles right around that 400 to 450 pounds of torque, but it will start slipping. But on the VR transmissions, remember we have two turbos. They actually build the transmission to be a lot stronger and take a lot more torque. So you're right around that 550, close to 600 pounds of torque um, to the wheels, which is hell of a torque to just the torque converter. So that transmission takes a lot of beating. So this person, Claire, wants to prevent that as being proactive. You guys can actually do this on your regular 3.7, but I don't see why anyone would do that because it doesn't really make your car change transmission. Doesn't shift any really quicker from what I was told. It's just that it can handle more torque. That's I don't see it. Okay, bear with me, guys. I want to go through it. Cool. Thanks, Boost. Got you, man. Bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to get through these chats, see if there's any other questions. Claire is one of the boosts. He explained that it's worth. Okay, cool. What do you thought about the GT? What I thought the GTR was bad. Wait, I'm confused. Racer, what do you mean? What I thought the GTR was bad? I'm confused. Um, Crazy power. 1 second. Would you? Okay. Question. Zesty HD, what's going on? Sorry, I lost a little bit of energy there. So Zesty says, would you ever get an older Nissan like a 240SX or R33? Well, I want to let you know this right now. I was looking for a 240SX in the last month or two. I was definitely looking for one. And there are on the they 7-8 years ago, 240X's were like S14 we're talking about, of course, right? Were like 10K or more. I'm talking about with the what is it, the KA that's in there or whatever that is, the crappy motor. And these cars were like beat to shit. And now 8 years later, they still beat to shit. And the ones that are out here are like, it's terrible. To find a clean one, you gotta spend 25, $30,000, and some of them still have the KA in there. If I ever got a 240 S14, of course, um, I would want a crazy one. Like a shout out to Mike, the YouTuber. If you guys don't know him, he has crazy regular car builds. Like some of them he bought that way, and some he modified that way. And over 10 years ago, I remember this dude swapped an LS motor in his S14, and it was turnkey, ready to go. And I was like, I wish I had the money to buy that. I didn't have that money at the time. But if I came across an LS swap 240 right now, I'm buying it. Like, but I know they're gonna probably want 15, 20K for it, but I would save so much money and time doing that. And I would only keep the car for a little while to really enjoy it. And then I'll sell it to somebody who really would want to buy it. But yes, I would like to get an S14. Now, an R33, I don't think I'm gonna be able to even find one. It'd probably be a Canadian one. Just the hassle of trying to get one and how much people would want to charge for it and getting parts and modifying it. If that car is just more for a glory piece, like, oh, I got an R33. Like that's really honestly it. Um Driven says get a 340. It's actually cheap to make good horsepower. Well, Driven Lifestyle, what I would say with the 340 B58 gang or N55 gang, or honestly, oh yeah, N55 gang. Did they make it 340 for the N55 gang? I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. B58 gang. It's just a lot easier because the 340, there's less to do. You just do downpipe and a tune, and you're making like mid 400 will. You don't need to upgrade no heat exchangers and then catback exhaust and intake. You don't have to do that. If you want to go run E on those cars, unless it's like the pre 2018 2019 340, you can upgrade an OEM high pressure fuel pump off like the Supras. That's about, you could just go upgrade that and now allow you to run almost full E. And then you get tuning. That's when you're making like 520, 530 wheel horsepower on E85, like E50, E60. But in all honesty, you do less to get to a certain horsepower. Q50s just have to do more modifications. So it is what it is. Mr. says, I'm Go Racebox Tune. What tires do you suggest? I'm not so much into the tire gang, even though I used to work for BJ's Wholesale Club and also sell Michelin tires and taught and trained by Michelin themselves. I'm a fan of Michelin tires, but when you're into racing, it's a lot more different. If you want to do road course racing, of course you get like an R888. But if you're doing drag racing, like if you know that you're doing like strictly drag racing to track, I know that you have some Mickeys that are out there, but I am a fan of NT05R tires for the drag strip. I think they're some of the best drag tires out there. One of the best for what it is. NT05R tires, not 05s, 05Rs. I just love those tires, man. Oh my god, I love those cars so much. But for regular everyday driving, dude, most stuff really won't really hook. I mean, even if you all-wheel drive, yeah, it will hook if you all-wheel drive. But honestly, you should buy tires as a tire tech, like I used to be. You should buy tires for its road hazard warranty and the amount of miles it gives you in driving comfort. You might have some tires out there that hook very well, but they might be kind of loud, or they might only last 20,000 miles. It all depends on what you're really into. So I would tell you just look into some of that. But what I would put out there is you you pay for the better quality. So some of those high end Michelin tires, it might be $300 per tire, but there's no trade off. They're good wet traction. They're good dry traction. They're super quiet. They have high mileage. They last pretty long. They have some of the best handling on it. There's a reason why some of these tires come from factory on like Porsches and M3s and stuff, because they're designed to take the abuse. Honestly, um, I'm debating on selling my G30 to a mod. Okay, okay? Just took my Q60. I bought 4 days ago to the dealership for the sound of the belt squill and the rattles that happens on low RPM. Wait, you should hear rattle. You shouldn't hear no rattling that happens at low RPM. What could these problems be? Well, the belt squill that you sound is a belt squill. Most people don't change their serpentine belt. My belt squill on my Q50 happened in the first 8,000 miles. Brand new car. It's gonna be pretty common on these cars. And the Q60, when I got it, it had like 44,000 miles on it. It was squealing too, and I ended up changing that one. So it's a common thing. Now the low speed throttle taps. I'm not low RP throttle taps. I don't know what that is. Because you said low RP throttle taps. I don't know what that means. I don't know if you were driving the car or not. But if you mean that the car is parked and it's idling and you hear a little bit of tapping, of course, always check your oil, see if the oil level is high enough. But remember, this car does have a high pressure fuel pump that makes tapping noises. And you also have direct injection, which makes these engines pretty noisy. So just want to put that out there. But the low speed OPM taps, it should be pretty common though. I am the encyclopedia of everything. Okay. Rear wheel drive model. That's pretty dope. I like that one. I wish I could slide. I haven't even slid the C63 yet. I thought I was, but once I bought those Michelin tires, I was like, I'm not burning up Michelin tires, man. The G37 is a great car. If I was you, I wouldn't sell it, especially if you love your car and want to mod it. Okay, just order sport rims. Okay, cool. Bear with me, guys. Here's a good question. Wait, just order Westport. Okay, cool. Should I use MSOL Super Ship Transor or just the Signature Series? Honestly, Zach Myers, I'm not really so much of a fan of aftermarket transmission fluids. Being in at least in the Nissan platform, what I realize is sometimes these other companies don't have the right standards for that transmission for certification. So, um, on the G37 and also the Q50, some people like using Valvoline transmission fluid, and it messed up the shifts. I don't know if it was just the tech's not putting enough coolant in it, but I just know certain transmissions just have to use certain oil. So I can't answer that question. I'm gonna just leave it as that because I'm not well versed in the transmission oil. So I would always recommend just use the transmission fluid sold from the factory. So at least you know that it isn't that, if there ever is an issue. Wow, I'm way back on questions. I was supposed to dip out right now, but of course I'm on this live for a lot more than an hour. But if you guys made it to this part right now, please guys hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys do. Much love to everyone in the chat. Remember these your likes you guys can give to me for free. Like if you're viewing this, watching this for the first time, that means you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. So definitely hit the subscribe button with the bell notification. All right, cool. Had my 2015 since 2018. Thinking about doing some modifications. Not sure what to do. Honestly, there's not really too much. You just do high flow cats. Power. Just do high flow cats. Do a catback exhaust if you're choosing. If you do want to do a catback exhaust, and if you want a little bit of power, get a tune. You have admin tuning. You have race box. You have Z1 Motorsports. You have a good amount of people in this community that can tune your actual car. But honestly, most people like to do like for performance. I'm a performance guy to do high flow cats and catback exhaust. But then you could do other aesthetics like front lip, rear diffuser, carbon hood, carbon trunk, coilovers, some spacers. Change like the appeal and aesthetics of the car. I know people who their cars are wide bodied and everything, but the car is stopped. The car is literally laid, air suspension, all that. But the cars like they have nothing other than a catback for performance. That's it. So it's really up to you. Okay, I have a 2017 Q50 Red Sport. What should I do to give it a little bit more power intake and exhaust? That is super broad question. I'm not gonna really answer all that. I'm sorry, OneTube. It's just that I have so much videos on the first mods that you guys should do for your car. I have so much videos like for like the last 3-4 years. But a little bit more power on Red Sports isn't really like the quickest way to gain a little bit more power in this car is a JB4 boost controller. But some people don't like that. I recommend that because it's like you're spending money twice because you might down the line want to go get full-fledged tuned. So honestly, I would leave it as just build up your treasure chest. You want to get an exhaust on the car, get a catback exhaust. You know that you want to add a little bit more power, add some lower downpipes or full catted downpipe. If you know that you want to get tuned or JB4 down the line, then you go JB4, you go get tuned. It's up to you. Do you know where I can get a QX56 engine rebuilt? No, I'm not. I don't know. Honestly, when it comes to rebuilding motors, I don't know where you can actually get barely any motors rebuilt. Honestly. Sorry, I don't have that answer. Do you guys think that the G35/G37 will become a classic soon? No. I don't see the G35, G37 becoming a classic. But remember, the originals, they were gonna make the G35 the next GTR, but they didn't do that. They scrapped that idea. But no, I don't think it's gonna become a classic. I just don't see it. There's too much of them made in the US for it to be like a classic. I just don't see it. Okay. Um well, I answered that like almost. Yes, Racer. I said it's like 5K for tuning for the AMG. Mm-hmm. It's like $5,000 just for tuning. On the AMG, it's like 2K for ECU tuning. It's like another, I think it's like 1,500 for transmission tuning, and then like another G if you have like a 2018 and up C63 or E63S. They have like a CPC unit. Pretty much, this unit limits the amount of torque that the transmission takes, so it will actually keep your boost low. So you'll tune the car, but the CPC will limit the amount of torque the car puts out. So you have to replace the CPC unit, which is like another, I think, almost $1,000. So it's almost $5,000 in tuning, a little bit more. And then, if of course you want to retune and everything, that stuff changes. Also, what I don't like about the AMG platform is they turn off emissions. So if you live in a state like New York State where you need to get inspected, your emissions will be off. That sucks because now you would have to return the car back to stock. And a lot of people have catless systems. And because they're catless, the car is going to have a check engine light. So a lot of people run into headaches dealing with that. Okay, I think okay. Okay, Philip says 93 map 2021 heat exchanger. What map can I run? It's the Q60, man. As I stated early in this video, JB4 is very simple. A lot of these maps are already been proven and used on this platform, and you're 93 fuel. You could go up to about 6 to 7 psi, but you need a heat. Well, you already got a heat exchanger, so you're good. You can run like map 5 and call it a day. Just call it a day. Leave it on map 5. Don't beat on the car too much if it start getting really hot outside. Understand the car takes a little bit of time for it to cool down. Remember, it's not a race motor. Well, I'm getting there. Getting tuned by Sonic with full bolt-on 2018. What horsepower gain going to look like? Around 450 wheel horsepower. Well, honestly, Q50 praise, it depends. If you're on 93 fuel, 450 wheel horsepower is like usually on the higher end. Some of you guys have like low downpipes, 2.5-inch exhaust, no intakes, and like maybe a burger two and a heat exchanger. You might only make like 430, 440 wheel. It all depends on how healthy your turbos are and your exhaust setup. Honestly, I'll also apply when you get tuned too. If you get tuned in the wintertime and you're close to sea level, you usually get higher numbers. If you get tuned in like Dallas or Miami Heat in the middle of the summer, you'll usually have a lower numbers. You know, it all depends on altitude, temperature outside, and the modifications on the car. But realistically, you should be seeing between on the lowest side 420, on the highest side 450. I've seen maybe 460 a couple cars. All depends. Oh, your 240 is a street build. Okay. Just missed out on an '09 convertible 147 on dash. Went for 10K at CarMax dealer auction. I wasn't that impressed. Wow. Okay. I'm surprised you didn't recommend EM drop-in intakes. Long as they're dry. Oh yeah, you can definitely do drop-in intake. Drop-in inlets or got panel filters. I just usually don't really recommend those things, but you can always do that. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Looks, I'm tired of y'all. Have a great night. Appreciate that. I gotta go to work too in the morning, but I like to answer you guys' questions. I'm a little bit back on the questions right now, so I don't want you guys to beat me up. Okay, get rid. Yeah, finding a Q60S 2015 is like 20, and that's the thing, Daniel. That's ridiculous. I came out with the video talking about should you sell your Q50, and I use Car Guru's trend site, price site. 2014, 2015 Q50s are supposed to be in the teens. They were literally in 2019 in the teens, like mid-teens. You can get like a 2014 Q50S Sport for like 15K. Now they're like 20, 25K because of the shortage, whatever. It's expensive. It really went up. These dealers don't need to be this way. They don't have to be, but this is capitalism for you. When you say there's a shortage, you could just add numbers to it, and the people will come. I got a 20 Q50 for 14K with low mileage daily, but gas is killing me. I'm spending about 300 a month and want to sell it. I'll make a profit, but I don't want to finance. What do you think I should do? Ouch. $300 a month. It's like you can't stop yourself from having to pay for gas. Like you really can't stop. But in your question, you don't want to finance. It depends. Do you want to sell a car um, and make this money now, whatever extra money you get, and then you get a beater? Let's say you go get a beater. Let's say you went and got, I don't know, let's start this 2002 Nissan Maxima. You're still going to be spending $300 in gas for that Nissan Maxima. Or you want to go down to a 4-cylinder, older Civic or Toyota Corolla. Now you're saving some money on gas, but not that much. Ooh, you went down to spending about, I don't know, $150 in gas a month. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you save money on gas, but now you're driving a Corolla. Nothing wrong with the car, but now you're driving a Corolla and you have some money in your pocket. Like, where do you want to put that money? What do you want to take that extra money and put it into? Maybe you want to pay off some extra debt, that consolidate. It all depends on what you're going to do with that money. But if you know you're only selling the car because $300 in gas is killing you, and you're like, all right, cool, I'm just gonna go get like a 4-cylinder, whatever, you're gonna step back in your lifestyle, then do so. I get it. I just don't want you to do it just because it's only gas. Like you got to make sure that you're making these changes not only because you're saving $150 a month. I don't really see myself doing that unless you like trade your Q50 and then got like a Q50 hybrid. But any car you get right now, finance will be already more expensive. So that's the unfortunate thing about this question. I- I'll leave this one up in the air. I honestly can't answer this question because I don't know your lifestyle. I don't know what you're trying to do and what direction you're going. But I will just make a blanket statement. If you're selling a car just to save $100 in gas, it just wouldn't make sense. That means you're living above your means. This is from an older dude talking to maybe an older dude or a younger dude, or in this case, maybe a girl. I don't know. No disrespect, but if you're knowing that it's killing you in gas, that means your lifestyle is a little too much. See where else you're bleeding money or hemorrhaging money. You know, maybe you could really afford it. Because when I had my 1996 Maxima, I had it like 2006 or 2005, right? I was a broke college student. So it was like the gas was killing me because the gas prices went to like five something at that point. We had like a gas shortage or whatever. It was super expensive at that time. So I couldn't afford it, but I literally wasn't making enough. That's why I was a broke college student and I had a job, but it just I wasn't making ends meet with the highest insurance. So what I ended up doing was just doing more overtime. And of course, I think I took out a second job at the time being to try to fill in whatever I can. And I really watched my diet just to make it happen. And I just tried to level myself up on my income just so I can be able to afford it. Because if I got rid of the car, I still had to go get another car and still spend the same amount of money in gas. And I didn't want to trade the Nissan Maxima in at the time for a Corolla. Like I just didn't see the sense in doing so because I have to go through the hassle of that and drive something I really don't want just to save $50. You know, it is what it is. Good night, Dual over him, Cam. I appreciate you. Do you need a retune if you have new tires? No, no. You do not need to get retuned if you get new tires. You do not. Uh-uh. Boost. Would you ever consider getting an AMG C63? What? Oh, would you ever no, ever consider? I already have that car, V. What are you talking about? I got that car on my channel. What are you talking about? You just what? Yo, dude, I already have that car on my channel. I have that car and I have the Q60. Does anyone know why my stereo won't work? 2020 it's stuck on Bluetooth. You gotta change it out, man. If it's stuck on Bluetooth, it's either one, the button might be stuck, or two, there might be a fault in the head unit. You can buy these head units off eBay or any salvage yard for relatively cheap, and just swap it in. Just make sure you get the right year and make sure it comes with the option of Bluetooth. But you can get these head units in the consoles for relatively cheap and just buy it and swap it in on your own. Does the JB4 leave any footprints on the dealer for the dealership to avoid warranty even after you took it off? Also, what about blow valves if you keep it on? That's supposed to make turbos live a lot longer, anyways. Chucky, all right, so cool. First question: does it leave a footprint on your on the car? No. If you drive the car on it and you took it off 5 minutes before, nothing's gonna go. They're not gonna know it was there. Now there's something called a freeze frame. Let's say you got a check engine light or you have an issue with a car where the car is not running properly. You took it in there because it has a check engine light. They can look into like, oh man, why you have a check engine light? And if they really care to look into it, they can see, oh my God, this elevated boost pressure. But if it's not there, it's out of sight, out of mind. Sorry, fraud. But honestly, this car has been out since 2016. It's 2022. Most dealerships are not looking that deep into this anymore unless they're warrantying it. And even if they're warrantying it, they're not going that deep. Like when this car first came out, they used to send out engineers to look into this stuff. They don't do that anymore because they know the common problems. So if you come in there and your turbos went, as long as you ain't got nothing strapped up like full catless downpipes and your IG name and your YouTube channel inside of your car, you're good to go. They're not gonna make a big freaking deal about it. They're really not. Well, your second question was blower valves. You should take the blower valves off if you're dealing with warranty. because if the turbos go, they can actually attribute the turbos filling towards the blower valves, because blower valves cause boost leaks, and boost leaks kill turbos. And yes, some older videos I did say that blower valves can prolong the life of your turbos if they're installed properly. I've got that information from other, hate to say YouTubers, but it's other people in the not it's our platform, that says blower valves are supposed to prolong the life of turbos. That's what I'm saying. So I still hold up to that saying, but if they're not installed properly, boost leak, then your turbos will go. Also, on automatic cars, it really doesn't make sense. Shout out to Sonic Tune, Mark from Sonic Tune. He stated there really there's no sense. They're really not useful on automatic cars. So they're nothing more than noisemakers. I can't select the audio phone or sound. Yeah, man. You gotta change out the head unit, man. Change out the head unit. I wouldn't mind getting a 280Z and throwing a Q60 in there, a VR30. Yeah. Boost, I have higher than usual charge attempts after installing the fender tank. Any idea what I did wrong? Trent, you gotta bleed the system, bro. I think you just installed it, right? You gotta bleed the system. Yeah, you had. Hopefully, you pre-filled some of this system. Hopefully, you followed my video. But you got some air in the system, dude. You're gonna have to bleed it out. Hit up Hussein or your tuner. They're gonna tell you how to turn on the pumps, or they might be able to turn the pump through the tune. Because on the EcuTech, you should be able to turn the pumps and actually run them. Run the pumps if you have a red sport or non-red sport, and now will allow to start moving the fluid around the system so it can start moving. So just hit him up. He's gonna tell you what to do. You could also check out Kadro Wins channel. There's certain ways to bleed the system by slightly unplugging the hole so you can get a little bit of air out. I did that before when I did it too, just whatever air I had left. But yeah, if it's slightly higher than usual, your system isn't fully still has some burps in it. You gotta burp it out. All right. Is there anything different from the Q50 Lux and all other makes? I'm confused. If you're talking about the Q50 Lux versus Premium versus Red Sport 3.0T, usually Lux is just more on the lower end. It doesn't have all the options, honestly. But it could be optioned up. It all depends on what people choose to do with it. But it's more just the non-sport version. There's something on the right side of my car. I'm not sure what it is, but every time I'm coasting at probably 3,000 RPM, there's a loud rattle that somewhat sounds like it's somewhere on the inside. Rattle could be anything, dude. If you're driving, rattle could be the dust shield, the brake dust shield, maybe rubbing against the rotor. If you had any brakes done or anything done on the car recently, it could be your splash shield, your anything undercover, anything that's might be a little loose. You just gotta step outside the car and have someone drive it, or take it somewhere where they can actually just look and see if everything's rubbing. But rattling, that's something I really won't have much answers to. Sorry. Wow, I really thought I could be a lot quicker to answer these questions, but I'm really sucking. When I'm in park and idle, I throttle and it rattles a little bit and lasts for about a quarter a second. The sound is not too positive what that is, Chucky. Sorry. What exhaust would you recommend for the G37 coupe? I like quiet exhaust, honestly. And I don't really, even though Arc and all those Motordyne and those more expensive exhaust sounds good, I like I hate that you guys make fun of me. Megan and OBX. I think they sound quiet. Like I think they sound good. Megan and OBX, but I know like the copycats of like the better exhaust out there. Chucky, it could be, yeah, I already answered that. Okay, cool. What do 2013 and lower G37 have value? Why do it? So why do it? Well, pretty much earlier in Nissan, if you want to talk to Gauss or Goosen or whatever, they started using cheaper material at the point. They went with like a plastic gallery gasket rather than use a metal one. And they found out over time, oh, we effed up. So they swapped up to the metal one in 2013, 2014, 3.7s. And that's just honestly it. It was a material failure and cost cutting. That's all it was. Q60 or 2022Z, which one? Honestly, it depends on what you're trying to do. I like all drive, so Q60. I love more luxury, Q60. So I like to have a little bit of back seat room, even though I can't, it's not like anybody can fit back there, but they can. So I'm more of a Q60 guy. Boost, I want to get a 3.7 Q50 tune on EcuTech, but Massachusetts checks ECU now. Should I get a second ECU or can I be reflashed? Dario, I do not know the answer to this question. Hit up Sonic Tuned or hit up Go Racebox and talk to them and see what they can actually do and how to help you with this. I'm not too positive on this is something that you can do. On other platforms for people that are watching, some people can actually swap ECUs from one card to another. Like usually you can do that. I'm not too positive in this platform. This is something that you can actually do. All right. So just look into that. Sorry, man. I'll stick to the GTR. I mean, yeah, you don't want to deal with no problems, can't believe there's no transmission or differential temperature sensor in the Q50 Q60. Yeah, you're right. There's no diff fluid temperature sensor. No. Remember, it's open, it's mechanical. It's not even mechanical diff, it's just shitty open differential. And transmission fluid temperature, honestly, no, they don't. From what I know, there's no transmission temperature sensor. That yeah, you can add one if you want to. There's a line that goes right to the bottom of the radiator. That's where it goes to cool off. If you want to add one in, but why should you do that from factory? But it's not supposed to be a race car. Okay, 2008 G37 Auto. After I drive it for a while in traffic, especially if it begins to idle higher, and when it comes to a stop, it's really sluggish and rough on downshifts and first. It's a 2008 G37 Auto. It's probably the 5-speed, and the transmission fluid probably only changed once or twice. That's it. If you ever have problems with the transmission fluid or transmission, change the transmission fluid first. If you know it's never been changed, you had the car for 3-4 years, you gotta change the transmission fluid. I'm sorry, just that's it. It's probably black and overworked. A lot of people had changed their transmission fluid, and literally the car started driving better. Night and day difference. Got it 2018. Okay, cool. What are your upcoming plans for this channel? Also, what's the next big boost emotion episode? Honestly, I don't know. I don't really have too much plans for the channel right now. There's supposed to be a car meet coming up in June. What were we on? May or June? We're in May. There's supposed to be a car meet coming up soon in June. Shit, yeah, in June, a big one. We're gonna try to have the biggest VQ Infinity meet in the Northeast. It's gonna be held by GQ Pure VQs in New Jersey Qs or Zs. I forgot Qs. Sorry. And yeah, I'm gonna let you guys know about that ASAP. I'm trying to get that day off because it's supposed to be big. I want all the Infinity guys out there, Nissan guys out there. I want us to take over. Like, just is. It's supposed to be a big meet at a sanctioned place, so you guys are not gonna be harassed or anything like that. So you'll tap in with some of that information later. All right. Let me see. Let me see if there's any more question. One second. My mother. I'm a college student and I like the car, but it's basically okay. I'm a college student, but I like the car, but it basically you guys hold me down. I can't afford easily. Just feel like use my money elsewhere. Okay, so then you have a different mindset on it. So if you have a different mindset on it, then I get it. You would like to use your money elsewhere. I was thinking of buying a Honda 2.0T, but I might as well just wait until the market gets better. That's something that you can also do too. That's a nice way of thinking. I like people with good mindsets on that. So if you know you can afford it, it makes sense. But you're driving something that you enjoy. Do you really want to change your lifestyle and don't like what you enjoy and still spend the same amount of money in gas? Like, unless you're putting that money somewhere like crypto or stocks or something that really just more to your lifestyle. Like if you have to take care of mom or your family members or your child, because no one wants to take, literally infant meal out their child's mouth and be like, let me put it in my Q50. No one would want to do that. It wouldn't make any sense. My car is running great when my child's hungry. Sorry, I meant the coupe. I might have missed out on. Okay, no. I'm not really a fan of the coupe so much. I think the coupes actually look a lot more aggressive though than the sedans in the C63. But I'm just more of a sedan lover. The Q60 is my first coupe ever, and it might be my last coupe unless I get a GTR or a Nissan Z. At Boosted Motion. Mm, the brakes are not going to suffice. If you're doing a large amount of pulls on the highway, the stock brakes are not going to suffice. I recommend going with like a Hawk 5.0 pad or a Stop Tech pad or something like that. So Xavier is talking about he's pretty much going to be tuned, and if you're going to do a bunch of pulls on the highway, man, the stock brake's gonna help you for like one or two breaks, slow 120 to 60s. But after a while, you need a better brake pad. So I recommend going with like a Hawk 5.0 pad or a Stop Tech pad. My check engine light came on. I saw JB4, but everything's good. This check engine normal. No, you should not get a check engine light, KP. Whenever you're installing a JB4, you should not get a check engine light. You should not. So double check every connection. You might have plugged it into the wrong part. You should not get a check engine light. Period. So disconnect it or use the JB4 to clear the code and see if it comes back. But you should not get a check engine light. Will the system bleed itself over time? I'm very confused, Fabian, what that question's about. Let me see if I missed something here. I don't see where you might have asked me about some system bleeding over time. My AC compressor went out. Where can I get an OEM Infinity parts? Not directly through Infinity though. Supreme brother, I'm not too positive. You said you want OEM Infinity parts, but not from Infinity. You can try most of those sites like Infinity Parts Deal or whatever. They sell Infinity parts. Most of them are either a dealership or I would assume the third party for it. Just check on simple Google search and buy the compressor. Those compressors don't go out that often, but I guess these mileages are going up a lot higher. Power, boost. Are you getting a new Nissan Z? I wish I could, but it's, everyone's gonna fight over one. I would like to get one though. I would actually really like to get one. I think it'll be the natural progression after the Q60. But let's get the G37 first. Do you think we'll be able to swap the 9-speed auto and the 400 into the Q? Yes, I actually think we could. One second. I think we're going to probably be able to. I doubt they changed the bell housing or anything like that. Excuse me. Take the bell housing or everything like that. So it'll probably bolt right up. Nissan is not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's just that can you tune this ECU? And also on top of that, how much Nissan Z's will have to crash for people to be able to take that transmission out and put it in their queue? It's going to take a little while. Um, got you one too. What do you recommend for an FX 35 second gen to tune it? I think those cars, one man, one story. I think those cars you still use UpRev. I'm not too positive. I think they use UpRev for that platform. Hit up admin tuning. Repeat. One man, one story. Hit up admin tuning and ask some more questions about it. But I think you should be able to tune those cars on UpRev. And I think you can just go like test pipes, and I think even on those cars, people even add you said Gen 2. I think because I'm thinking about Gen 1. Because I know in Gen 1, I think people had added like a G35 exhaust on it so it could sound a little better, or just the AXLEBACK. But to tune it, they use UpRev. Hit up admin tuning. Um, I'm 18 looking to get a Q50. My parents offered to help me, but is there anything I really need before getting it? Well, V, your first thing, that's a very broad question. What do you mean things you need to get? If your parents are helping you get offering to help you, it depends what they're helping you with. You're 18, so your insurance is going to be high. It's unfortunate. You're 18. Number two, the Q50s are still expensive cars. Unless you save 15, 20, $30,000 and you're gonna buy it cash, you're gonna have to deal with financing. And that means that they're gonna need to co-sign with you. It all depends on your parents. If they want to co-sign with you, if they don't, it's fine. It is what it is. But you probably don't have any credit yet because you're 18, unless they had you on their credit card since you were like 9. So you have to get co-signed. You're gonna have to get an insurance quote to see how much that's gonna cost. You have to find out how much that is per month. Um, if you're gonna co-sign for this car, you need to have job history or a job because they're not gonna really want to give you the car if you've got no job. So everything might be on your parents. So yeah, you just got to know how much you're gonna have to pay if you're financing it. You have to know how much you're paying for. Excuse me. If you're how much you're paying for insurance, you gotta make sure that you can be able to fiscally, financially afford to have this car. That's just keeping it 100 with you. Anything else is after, but you got to see if you can actually afford to get the car and keep the car running and on the road. All right. Drain and fill, do not drain. Okay, cool. Also I want this as my first car, but should I get something different before that? That's really up to you, V. This one is really up to you. If you want a different car and you don't want to stick with this car, um, it's up to you. Like, once again, this is all dependent on what you can afford. My first car was a piece of shit 1987 Mazda MPV, which was cheap. And then, like, my real official own car was a 1996 Nissan Maxima, something I bought cash. It taught me a lot on repairing and keeping that car running on my own. So it's kind of like a give and take thing. At least, not I didn't have a beater, but when it had an issue, I looked it up. I found out different forums of Facebook. Well, at that point it wasn't Facebook, but I looked at different sites on how to repair certain things. I went and got the tools, and I got it down and dirty because I remember the first repair I had on the car, which was wheel bearings, and I took it to a family friend mechanic, and I'm a broke college student, and he charged me $300 to change those wheel bearings. And then, yo, you know what pissed me off? Once I got more immaculate to car stuff, the wheel bearings were only $50, and he changed two of them. And he didn't even do the work himself. He took it to like a shop to press it in and out. And I'm like, this dude charged me like $300, and I was like, that's like 2 hours of shop time. I get it, but I think his shop time at that time was like $60. So he charged me a lot of hours of shop time. But that $300 hurt me as a broke college student. So you gotta learn how to do things on your own. I can't press out bearings, but you gotta learn to just stay within your budget. That's all I would say. Uh, is there any other options for full 3-inch downpipes other than AMS? Yes, Black Weaver. Yes, there's plenty. You have a first thing. Check on my channel. I know I have downpipe videos. Just check on my channel. Like, check it. I have it. Put in boostinmotion downpipes, catted downpipes, low downpipes. I have videos talking about the different brands. But there's like 4 or 5 companies that make full 3-inch CATBACK downpipes. I recommend AAM Competition full catted downpipes. Check out all my AM stuff on my channel. Boost, why isn't there any flexo kits to go 85 on the VQ37 Q50? I never looked into that. There should be. That doesn't make sense that there's none. Check on Z1 Motorsports at Dario. Check on Z1 Motorsports. That doesn't even sound right. There has to be flexo kits. With the VR30 setup, don't really plan on tracking much, mainly hilltop and mountain passing. What would be decent power mods? Well, if you're going to be doing hilltop and mountain passes, honestly, I wouldn't really care for power. I would care for handling. Yo, this car is not the best for handling. It's not a sports car. Look into a good set of coilovers. Not a lot of people like BC Racing coilers. I don't know why. Just go with a good spring rate BC Racing coilover. You can get like custom spring rate. I would go with like a 18 to 24K in the front. Keep the rear like 6 to 8K. You don't need too much spring rate in the back. And a good set of tires, like a Michelin set of tires, all seasons or summer tire, and you should be good to go if to do all that type of driving and stuff. Because honestly, power is cool, but when you add that power and you have no handling and no traction, it's a waste, especially for mountain driving. I would rather have a slow car that handles great than have a fast car that doesn't handle at all. Honestly, like a Hellcat. But that's my opinion. But to answer your question, decent power mods, simple, easy, downpipes, catback exhaust, and a tune from Hussein Go Race Box. Or if you want to just keep it simple and just get a boost controller, JB4, and a heat exchanger and call it a day. Like, it's really up to you. But I'd rather just do the handling first and tires. What's the best staggered wheel setup on the Q50S? Well, I can't tell you specifically what wheels or all 63 smoke. Just it depends on how wide you want the rear tires to be. These cars aren't like the C63. Like, the C63 could literally only fit like 10s, 10.5s with like a deep offset, like a 50 plus 55 offset. But the Q60s, Q50s could run like plus 25 offset on 11-inch wheels. So that lets you know it's way deeper in the rear. But people have put 305s on their stock Q50, stock height, 305s in the rear. Seriously. So it could definitely be done. It all depends on what you want to do. Just hit me up in my DM at Boost Motion, bro. You already know what to do. You already know I'll answer you back and everything. I'll help you out. Just let me know which wheels you're looking at, and I'll help you find the tire size that will best suit you. All right, all 63s. All right, got you, man. Um, is a 3.0T so unreliable that you're gonna go backwards to a T37? Yo, shout out to Slow G, so GLI. The reason why I'm going back to G37 is honestly nostalgia. In 2008, a coworker of mine had a white one, and another coworker of mine had a black one. And I love the way the G37 coupe looked. I still love the way it looked. I had a 2007 G35X at the time, which is a V36. But I never was a fan of coupes. I was always my four-door guy. So after that car, I went and got a 2018 Q50, no, 2015 Q50, 2018 Q50, 2017 Q60. So it's just natural that now I'm older, I have a little bit more money. Let me get a G37. I always wanted one. And also, it'd be pretty nice to get in the channel. It's just knowing that I've always wanted to own one. So just going to knock it out. But that it's not about reliability. But good question. Wow, I'm almost at the end, man. I'm supposed to leave like 30 minutes ago. I have a 2018 Silver Sport. After adding JB4 tune, coil intake, what else should I consider? At Ahmed, you need to get a heat exchanger. Heat exchanger. I have plenty of videos on heat exchangers, but to quickly say it, you have AMS, you have AAM competition, you have Mishimoto, you have PLM, you have a couple other more. I have plenty of videos on it. Go check it out on my channel, please. Getting down pipes, 3-inch exhaust would set the car off. Yeah, 100%. My insurance is high, and I'm 21. Yep, that's gonna how it be. Yeah, I'm paying 500 a month for insurance on my Q. Wow, ouch! I have only 5K left because I have decent down payment. Okay, cool. I paid 400 for my Z. Okay, floaty as hell. Yeah, talking about the suspension. Yep, told you that suspension is super floaty, man. It's not a race car. You have to get coilovers. You got to kick overs. Oh, so I got 7 of you guys in the chat, man, hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you guys for banging with your boy Boost on a late night. Some of you guys are in California, so it might be a little bit earlier. And I have people from Australia and UK that actually watch too. So much love to you guys too. And if you are watching, guys, hit the like button, please. Okay, for the people that watch, I'm just quickly say, when you guys hit the like button, this is something that you guys can do for free. Free costs you guys nothing. And YouTube literally says, wow, they like this video. Let's show it to other people who look up Q50 Q60s Nissan content. My video actually goes to people who might be looking at 340s or ISs or any other vehicle because as a suggested, like, oh man, this video seems pretty dope. You might like it. And that's how this channel grows. More views. It isn't really subscribers, but the views and more interactions with the video. And once the channel does better, I can do more. Honestly. So those likes really go a lot further than you guys think. I'm telling you. Once I learned it as a YouTuber, I like videos now that I watch because I know the hard work people put in. And it's like, click, hit the like button. Because, yo, it's not easy to sit in front of this camera sometimes. When you get in the G, I'm getting the G when I sell the Q60. I would like to. I could go get a G right now, but then I have 3 cars. And no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have 3 cars. My mind, I can't do so much things at one time because then I'm not going to do anything. Like, it's just too much to do. I can't multitask that much. I'm looking to get fully A5 on my Q. Is it okay to buy a used high pressure fuel pump? Yes. Just make sure that the pigtail, the harness for it is not damaged. Also, make sure that spring isn't damaged. Like, if it's damaged, it will be cracked. It'll be broken. So it's either not broken or it's broken. You'll literally see that's a broken spring. And when you do not install, please do not install that high pressure fuel pump just on stock. Don't do that. Like, don't do that at all, please. Just wait till you are gonna go EA5 and all that. Wait till then. Don't just install it just because you got it. All right. Any idea where double R went? Double R is still here. Q50 praise. Double R is still here. He's actually in real estate now. Shout out to Double R. I believe he's a realtor now. Yeah, he still got the car stuff. He's just trying to get that running because you gotta get this bread, man. And it is what it is. We all have our different careers and things we do, but he gotta get this money up first, and then he's gonna come by. He's still a car guy at heart. So Double R ain't dip. He's here, man. He's here. Is the airlift better for bleeding coolant system, or should I do what Cadro way? Well, the Cadro way is cheaper and free. The Cadro way is literally cheaper and free. So I would actually recommend that way first, and also turn on the pump. Just hit up the tuner, or there's a way to unplug one of those plugs that's right by the passenger side. One of those clips, you unplug it, and it turns on the pump, and it gets the coolant flowing. I just don't remember which one. So hit them up. Any stock tires gotta go. Can I run E830 on the stock fuel system? Um, yes and no. If you're tuned, the tuner is still going to limit the certain amount of boost and how hard it comes on if you're doing a fully stock system. But for it to not have any pressure issues, it is recommended to get a low pressure fuel pump upgrade so that you can run full E all the time and you'll be tuned properly, fully on it. Now, JB4 is a little bit different. They just use E85 as an octane booster. It's not, you're not tuned. You're basically on stock tune. So it doesn't really go in the same parameters as if you were full-fledged tuned. So you then can run E30. It wouldn't really starve the pump because it's not the way that the torque really come down. Like on JB4, you're not getting as much torque as a full-fledged tune. So it's a little bit, I don't want to say it's a little bit more safer. That's not the right words because I know people are going to beat me up on video. I'm not saying it's safer, but you can use it as an octane booster and the car will run fine. Just make sure that you run that E30 every other tank. Wow, you guys are really beating me up, man, with these questions, man. I hope you, for anyone who's watching too, if you want to donate to the channel, you can hit the super chat if you want. Or also, I do have a cash app at money sign boost in motion, the name of the channel. Money sign boost in motion. If you guys want to donate, I really would appreciate that if you guys chose to do so. Let me see. Oh, I ain't get no donation. No, goddamn. That'd be nice if I would have just wanted to check if I did got a donation. I want to shout any of you guys out. All right, I guess not. I guess I'll dream another day. But it looked like I did though. I want to make sure. Somebody gave me $10 recently. Oh, okay. That was the other day from my IG. Um, what's good, Boost? I'm planning on getting tuned by Sonic, and I was wondering if I can get away with an AXLEBACK and catless YPIPE instead of a full exhaust. Any info helps. Ricky, well, hopefully you have your heat exchanger. Um, are you planning on going down pipes anytime? So this is what I would sit there and say. If you know you're gonna keep the system the way it is right now, then it's fine. Like, don't worry and kill yourself about it. But if you know that down the line you're gonna add down pipes, like lower down pipes or full cat down pipes or catless, or you're gonna add a heat exchanger, then no. I think you should definitely go get a heat exchanger system. And if you know you're gonna do a downpipe, do downpipes. Make sure that you get all your mods in order before you get tuned because you don't want to spend money twice. Because after you get it done, you're gonna want to pay him for a retune. I don't know how much his retune is. It might be another $100, $200, $300. So save yourself some money and get all the get all the parts first, and then get tuned. Damn, I gotta tap out in 5 minutes, guys. I've been on here. I was supposed to leave 40 minutes ago. This is how I know I love you guys. It's been so long since I've been on live, man. And I got my room now, too. I got my little place together. So we're actually cooking with grease now. 100%. So you guys should see me on here a lot more often now. What car looks better to you? Man, come on, Zach. I answered this question already. You can check on my channel. I literally have both cars. I don't know if Zach, if you've been on my channel, but I had the Q50 Q60 at the same time. Both of them. Legit, both of them on the channel at the same time. And I literally chose the Q50 because I'm a four-door lover. Oh, shout out to Super Chat. I appreciate that. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. Much love. Appreciate to the donation to the channel. Thank you for donating. Much love. London, I really appreciate you too so much. Thank you. I'm gonna buy Popeyes with that, London. I don't know if you like Popeyes chicken, but I'm gonna buy Popeyes chicken with it. I love my chicken tenders. All right. Much love. I appreciate that. I'm gonna keep trying to do what I gotta do. Just for your time, I have a 2015 Q50 loaded 23K solid car. It came from a G37X. Yeah, man. Much love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let me try to get back to those questions because I'm gonna tap out. I gotta go to work in the morning. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Hey Boost, what cars would you recommend besides the Q that's just as fun and easy to mod? That's a sedan. All right, BMW 3 Series, just as fun, and easy to mod. Literally, 340. You get a 340 or N55, N55 or 340, like a 2016 and up, 340. Just as easy to mod. Another car I would say is, I don't want to say it's as easy. It's like the G37 equivalent, like the IS300 or IS350. Very similar, test pipes, catback exhaust, and a tune. Um, I would say Audis, like Audi 2.0 Ts. Same thing, downpipe exhaust, APR, a tune. Those cars are relatively easy to mod. S4s are around the same price too. You can actually get like an Audi S4 too. Those you don't really, you do a pulley, you do free flow exhaust and a tune because they're supercharged unless it's the newer S4s. I think those are turbo, the newer S4s. And I mean like the B9 up ones, up or like 2015 and up. Like the 2011 and 2014 are like supercharged, something like that. What other cars are tune friendly and easy to mod for this platform? That's very similar to the Q50. That's fun cars. I was just trying to keep it more in the same entry level. There's of course a lot more expensive cars. As long as they have a turbo, they're relatively easy to modify. You just do downpipes and exhaust and a tune. Honestly, that's really it. I don't really want to say the Mercedes so much. Not really so much like C43, C300. Those are C300s too on the slower side. Um, I'll just leave it with those cars that I really dropped because anything else, they're not really on my radar for cars under like $30,000. Like not too much. But hopefully I answered your question. Thank you, Boost, for your time and mentoring us. You gotta do more with these more. I got you, V. I appreciate you. Much love. You mean the pump in the EcuTech app? That's the one that lets you run it for 30 seconds. Yes, Trent. If you can turn it on, that actually could help flow, turn up the PSI, the amount of flow within the heat exchanger system. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you all 63. I appreciate you, man. I remember DM me about the wheels you want to look into and the tire size. All right, definitely DM me. I appreciate that for that super chat. I want to make sure I answer all these questions before I tap out because your boy Boost is a little low on this energy. Will I know the system is bled fully when the charge attempts go back to normal? Yes, or there's no more air coming out the system. Yes. Q50 praise. I know you must not pay attention why you said you liked it more. Okay, cool. Popeyes is busting. 100%, yo. I'm gonna get $20 in Popeyes, bro. Yo. I'm busting it down, man. All right, cool. WRX. 240 WRX. I'm a little bit confused here. I don't like the new WRX, if you guys just know. I don't want to get into a discussion about it, but the new WRX is freaking ugly. Okay, they took away the fender flares or whatever and just made nonsense. It's unfinished. They messed up the look of that car or the off road or whatever. I hate it. I really freaking hate it. Have a good night for your time. Thank you Q50 praise. I appreciate you. And Edward Norwood, thank you. Appreciate you. So I'm about to tap out, guys. I'm not gonna tell you guys don't any more questions. It's almost coming up to 2 hours. I got work in the morning. But what I would say is this. You already know what you can do. You hit me up at boostinmotion IG, Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com. Oh, thank you, Sin. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that super chat. Much love, much appreciation. Thank you. Thank you for always banging with me so much. And thank you for being a lower subscriber to the channel and a Canada money too. I got Canadian money in here. All right, let me try. It says, will the project S Black No, they're not bringing back the Project Black Smack comeback. No, if you're talking about the Black Q60S, they're not bringing that out. All that technology is going to be used in the next GTR. That hybrid system that you saw in the Q60 Black X is going to be used in the next GTR. Period. Trent, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Con. Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. You already know what to do. Hit me up at Boost Motion IG, Facebook, and boostinmotiongmail.com. Albert, what's going on, man? Much love, much love. And I put nitrous in my G37 boost. I know a couple people who run nitrous in their car. A couple of people. Damn, Ron G. I'm going to check you out later. And thanks, man. Listen, let's keep it calm. Let me take this last shot with you guys. And man, that was a tequila shot. Outside that, guys, you have a good night. I appreciate you. Also, always hit the like button. Thank you, guys. Check you out.